is a Thursday, top of the morning inspirational video. We're gonna let one of my philosophers, Jim Rohn, get up here and say this morning a awesome motivational. I'm talking about inspiring. I'm talking about heartfelt message this Thursday morning. Okay, let's get it.
Sometimes God doesn't calm the storm because the storm was never the problem. Sometimes he lets it rage so he can calm you. That situation wasn't meant to break you, it was meant to build you. See, everybody wants peace, everybody wants clarity, but nobody wants the pain that produces it. But growth don't happen in comfort. Strength don't show up in silence. The storm revealed who you were, but it also revealed who you're not. And that's the gift. The storm stripped the lies. It exposed the weaknesses. It tore away everything fake so God could show you what's real. So don't pray it away too soon. Let it do its work. Let it shape you. Because storms don't destroy purpose, they reveal it. And on the other side of this, you won't just survive. You'll stand different, walk different, believe different. Because when you've been through real pain, you speak with real power. That's why he let it hit you. It was never about the storm, it was about what it woke up inside you.
Think about a professional athlete. Do you think they train when they feel like training? No, they train according to a standard. Even when they are tired, even when they are bored, even when there is no audience. Their standard does not change just because their emotions change. And that is exactly what creates the difference between average people and excellent people. The average person asks, do I feel inspired today? The excellent person asks, what does my standard require of me today? I want you to imagine two people climbing a mountain. The first person stops whenever the path becomes difficult. The second person keeps walking because they have decided that they will not stop. The distance between them will become very large. Not because the second person is stronger, not because they are luckier, but because their standards are different. The best people in any field all have one thing in common. They have standards they never compromise. They do not compromise on discipline. They do not compromise on preparation. They do not compromise on the quality of their work. And over time, those standards begin to shape who they are. You no longer have to force yourself to do the right thing. You do the right thing because that is who you are. You become the person who is always on time. You become the person who keeps promises. You become the person who is always thoroughly prepared. And when you live by those standards long enough, people begin to notice. They begin to trust you. They begin to respect you, not because you say you are good, but because your actions prove it every day. I want to ask you a very direct question. What is your standard for your life? Are you accepting average habits? Are you accepting average results? Or have you decided that you will live by a higher standard? Remember this. The world rarely demands that you become excellent. But if you want to become excellent, you must demand it from yourself. You must set standards so high that sometimes other people will think you are being too strict. But those very standards will create the person you are becoming. However, when you begin raising your standards, something interesting will happen. You will realize that the environment around you also begins to have a huge effect on your journey. Principle 6, design your environment for success. There is something I realized after many years of observing human life. So many people try to change their lives, but they do not change the environment around them. They want to become more disciplined, but they are in an environment full of procrastination. They want to become more positive, but they spend most of their time with people who are always negative. They want to grow, but their environment does not encourage growth. And then they ask themselves, why is change so difficult? Tell people something that many have repeated ever since. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that for a moment. The people around you affect the way you think, the way you speak, the way you see the world, and even your level of ambition. If you spend most of your time with people who always complain, chances are you will begin to complain too. If you spend most of your time with people who always procrastinate, chances are you will begin to procrastinate too. But the opposite is also true. If you are around disciplined people, you will learn discipline. If you are around ambitious people, you will begin to think bigger. If you are around people who are always learning, you will begin to want to learn more. I remember when I was young, my life was not good at all. I worked hard, but I was not getting far. I did not understand why until I met my mentor. He began teaching me something very important, not just how to make money, not just how to work, but how to choose the right environment. He said to me, Jim, if you want to change your life, start by changing the people you spend time with. At first, I did not think it was that important, but over time, I realized he was absolutely right, because environment has a very special power. It shapes your standards very quietly. If everyone around you accepts mediocrity, mediocrity will begin to feel normal. But if you are in an environment where people are always trying to become better, you will feel pushed to grow. You will see that progress is normal. Imagine 2 people starting the same journey. The first person lives in an environment where everyone around them does not read books, does not learn, does not have clear goals. The second person lives in an environment where everyone is always learning, is always discussing ideas, is always setting big goals. After a few years, their lives will look very different. Not because they started differently, but because their environments were different. That is why people who truly want to become excellent are usually very careful about their environment. They pay attention to the people they spend time with, the content they consume, the conversations they participate in, because they understand that all of those things affect the person they are becoming. I'm not saying that you must leave everyone around you, but I am saying that you must become aware of the influence of your environment. You must ask yourself, is my environment helping me grow or pulling me down? Are the people around me encouraging me to become better, or are they making me feel comfortable with mediocrity? If you want to become excellent, sometimes you must make difficult choices. You must seek new environments. You must seek people with higher standards. You must place yourself in places where growth is normal, because when you are in the right environment, many things become easier. Discipline becomes easier. Learning becomes more natural. Progress becomes faster. But even if you have a good environment, even if you have high standards, there is still a major challenge that most people must face. It is the ability to face pressure and difficulty. And the people who truly become excellent do not avoid pressure. They learn how to seek it. Principle 7, seek out pressure proactively. There is something opposite. Pressure is where growth happens. If you want to become stronger, you must lift heavier weights. If you want to become smarter, you must study harder things. If you want to become more excellent, you must face greater challenges. There is no other way. I remember when I was young, I used to think that success meant everything becoming easier.
Yes. Yes, the good old philosopher teacher, Jim Rohn. The main thing you take from this morning, get around people, study people that influence you to be positive, that influence you and encourage you to be better. Life is simple if you follow simple rules. Life get easier when you start understanding where you at in life, who you are, and who is around